My voice has always been my best tool, and I hope that I don't run into somebody who's drunk and high at the same time, and his goal is to only fight. Um, I'm lucky. In the 18, 19 years that I've been on now, I've probably gotten to 7 physical confrontations that I couldn't talk myself out of. People just want to be understood. And it's when you don't understand them that you get the violence, right? And or that they're trying to escape something that they fear is going to be worse than being caught. So for me, I've always been able to talk them down and reassure them that, listen, I understand you're scared, right? Believe me, I'm just as scared because you're erratic right now. I'm here to tell you, you're just going to be put in cuffs, you're just going to be brought in, and life goes on.
Life has a way of testing us, throwing obstacles, heartbreak, and setbacks that sometimes feel impossible to overcome. But the truth is, every struggle holds the potential for a story of triumph. Welcome to the other side. Real stories of transformation. And this is where those stories get told. In today's episode, we're going to sit down with Roch Bouverat, and this conversation goes deep. We'll be taking time to talk about PTSD, living with auditory processing disorders, the dark paths that people often keep hidden because they're afraid and they're feeling shameful about it. We'll open up about addictions, vices, and the hard truth about rebuilding your life when the weight feels too heavy. And for the men out there, we'll even tackle the realities of testosterone replacement therapy and what that means, what it does, and how it changes more than just the body. This isn't a surface level story. It's raw and it's real, it's unedited, and it's proof that even in our darkest moments, transformation is possible. We'll hear about the one moment specifically Roch had to question everything, his size, his strength, and even his identity. And this is where the whole story begins and takes place. So we need to hear this from Roch himself. This is going to be an interview that you do not want to miss. Here we go. So today we get to sit down with Roch, and this is something I've been super excited about because I don't really know him yet, but I know his story is absolutely incredible. We're going to hand the mic over to Roch and learn more about him, and everything you see from me is going to be real-time reaction because I've never heard the story, so I'm looking forward to it. Thanks for being here, brother. I appreciate you and everything you're doing in the fitness industry, and I'm sure there's a lot of platforms people can follow you on, which we'll talk about later so we can get that out to the people as well to help you and help them. But let's hear it. Tell us your story.
Hi, Lawrence, and thanks for having me on the show. I also follow Precision Elite Training, thanks to a mutual friend of ours, Nicole. My story started when I was 27, right? I'm now 46 years old, so we're talking 19 years ago. Freshly hired by the Toronto Police, just married, child on the way. My whole life is turning upside down, and I'm joining the Toronto Police. And at that time, I was standing 5'11", weighing about 147 pounds. So I was quite slim, right? And after my belt and all the equipment I put on, well, I put on another 45 pounds. Well, that's that's a third of my weight at that point, right? So this was a lot for me to carry. It was a lot for me to handle. So during those days, I always had my coach officer or a good training partner with me, and until I was finally able to get on my own. By then I'd managed to maybe put on 5 pounds of more muscle, just to help me maintain all this equipment. Well, one call came through, and it was a fight. And this man was larger than me, he was stronger than me, and we could not communicate. Right? He wasn't having it. He was more than willing to fight, and that was my only option. So, of course, I'm calling for backup, and my backup's on the way. But in the meantime, I still have to stop this individual. Well, I'm playing ring around the rosy, trying to keep distance from him just because of his size and his strength. And by the time he did get a hold of me, well, I went for a ride. He tossed me like I was nothing. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, like if I could be in real trouble here. If he really gets a hold of me and knocks me out, like there's no saying I'm holding a gun in my hip. And the only saving grace was I tired him out, right? I was in good physical shape. although I wasn't excessively strong or had size to me, well, I could outrun him. And that's what I did. I wore him out until finally he gave up, and the cavalry arrived and were able to cuff him safely and bring him to the station.
Wow.
And I remember going to some of my comrades. I'm like, man, you know, it only took you guys maybe a minute and a half to get here, but that minute and a half, I was worried, because this guy was larger, stronger, and that was enough of intimidation for me. And I've got all my use of force with me at that time, but I'm in the close quarters, right? Some say, well, why didn't you use your pepper spray? Well, I use my pepper spray. It's going to affect not just him, but also me. And I've had a taste of it before, and I'd rather keep that
Yeah.
clean, right?
Yeah.
He's like, well, you've got a baton. You're right. Do I really want to take the chance of losing that weapon to him?
Yeah.
Nope, I'm not going to take that chance. So that stayed in, right? I was like, I can't go combat on this guy, and my only other option is my firearm because we didn't have tasers back then,
Oh, okay.
right? So I'm not reaching for my gun. I'm having to stand my ground with this person, and that was the scenario I was in. So before everybody else says, "Well, you've got everything," yeah, you do, but it can also work against you. And so I went to see a doctor, and I talked to him, and I said, "Listen, I'm having trouble gaining weight. Me and food don't really get along, right? It was every time I ate, I would have pains. It was never just, eat what you want, eat a hamburger. Well, sure. The more processed the food was, I noticed that the shittier I felt, right? And this was just repetitive. And finally, at the age of 37, I still haven't gained much weight. I'm now maybe 153 pounds. Okay, slight improvement. But that's when I made a decision. I said, okay, I'm going to get my testosterone checked out. And my results came back at 313, which is 13 points over the bare minimum
Minimum. Yeah.
of the normal range.
Right.
And I remember looking at my doctor at the time, like, Doc, I'm like, I'm 37 years old. That's a little low. He's like, oh, well, it's normal. I'm like, yes, I understand it's in the normal spectrum, but is it normal for me at 37 to be there? I mean, I'm not in horrible shape here. And he was like, well, there's really nothing I can do. I can send you to an endocrinologist. So I'm thinking, well, that's the next step. Let's do it. So off to the endocrinologist I go 3 months later, having to wait, and finally see him. And his first thing to me was, what do you want? Well, I'm here because my testosterone levels were bare minimum, and I'm struggling to put on size. I'm having a difficulty with my appetite. I'm thinking maybe there's something wrong with my levels. And he's like, well, they're normal range. Nothing I can do.
Really?
I'm like, okay, well, how would I feel if my normal range was, let's say, 600? And his voice, well, you'd probably feel fantastic. I was like, okay, then I'd like to feel fantastic because my energy levels are down. I've got foggy memory. I mean, for me to just move and get going was difficult. And he's like, yeah, until they drop, nothing I can do. Okay, well, now I knew what I needed, and I wasn't getting it from a doctor. So I made my research, and I decided, well, okay, I'm going to do testosterone replacement therapy on my own. So my journey began. Stumbling through the internet, looking, reading reports, trying to find out what is proper, what's everybody doing, what would the doctor recommend, right? And basing it on my current weight and my age, and thinking, oh my God, this is a steroid. This is horrible. I can't tell anybody about this. They wouldn't understand, right? And then the other aspect, well, hey, you're a police officer. Should you be using this? Right? Because back then, testosterone was just considered a steroid. No, you would get rage out of this.
Right.
Affect your mental health and everything else. And then you'd read the other posts. It's like, that's not true. That's not how it works. this is your male hormone. This is how you regulate, and all other positive, but this would be in the Reddits. It would be in the hidden post out there it's not the sponsored post, the popular written image of what testosterone does. So for me to embark this in that era, I was like, okay, well, I've got a good friend. Hey, I'm taking this journey. Will you monitor me? Will you tell me if my mood changes? Will you see if my personality takes a turn for the wrong? And it's like, absolutely, I've got your back. So I'm thinking, hey, great. So I've got a friend that's willing to look after me, tell me flat out if I'm going off the tracks, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't feel alone so much in the journey. And after 3 weeks, I mean, I had increased almost 25 pounds already.
Wow.
Yeah. Mind you, I also figured out why I was always ill after eating, and it turns out I do have a big sensitivity to wheat, right? So anything that was pasta, anything that was bread, I just stayed away from. And I noticed that I could eat my food and not have that bloating afterwards, not have that soreness, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I actually felt great after eating, which was very different from the norm because you would eat bread at every meal. Come on, I'm French, you're every breakfast, lunch, supper, there's bread all the time. And so once I cut out the bread, I mean, away with away with the bloating,
Mm-hmm.
right? And started to feel better, started to put on more weight and wanting to exercise, right? And the motivation of getting up and doing something. Also, I figured out a few other things as I was aging, like for instance, why do I, how do I say it, focus so much on certain things, right? So I found out I'm a little bit OCD, not full fledged off the charts, but yeah, if I find out, oh, this is good for me, well, I will eat a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
Or this exercise is great for me, well, I will do a lot of that too, right? So for me to focus on one thing with a goal in the end is easy for me because this is something I enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
But if it was like, okay, do your taxes, oh, jeez, okay, motivate me.
Yeah, yeah.
That's not something I will OCD on.
Right.
Good deal. So it has to be something that I was happy with. So yeah, I'm off to the races at this point. I'm gaining the weight. I'm feeling fantastic. I've got coworkers coming up to me like, "Hey, man, you look fantastic. I don't know what you're doing, but keep it up." And I'm
Mm-hmm.
thinking to myself, "Wow, this is great. Like I feel on top of the world."
Right.
Mind you, I'm still in the learning stages of this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm asking my friend who knows, right, who's supposed to look after me, and he's like, I mean, Roch, you're happy, you're chipper, you're smiling, you look fantastic. I mean, I don't see a downside. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking, fantastic, right? I've figured it out. But back then, testosterone for me was everybody did this in cycles,
Mm-hmm.
right? I didn't know about you could do this every day. Well, not every day, but I mean, for the rest of your life on a weekly
Right.
basis,
Consistent.
consistently.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't learn that till almost my 40s, right? So that 3 years, I'm going cycle on, cycle off, cycle on, cycle off. And I'm fluctuating in weight, going from, let's say, 170 back to 190, then 170 back to 190. So there's a 20-pound weight fluctuation. And I'm noticing when I'm off, I'm feeling lethargic. I've got the brain fog. My motivation is lacking. All I've got going for me is my dedication to succeed, right? To move forward. And it wasn't until my 40s I decided, well, I'm not going to cycle anymore. I'm just going to continue and never remove myself from that feeling. So my body never had to restabilize. My goal was never to become superhuman. It was just to be the best version of myself,
Right.
right? Focusing on my mobility, focusing on my ability to do my job easily, right? Carry the extra pounds of all the equipment,
Yeah.
not being out of breath, just getting out of the vehicle, right?
Right.
And once I reached the age of 46, then it was like, okay, now it's time to help others achieve what I've done because now it's no longer a guessing game. I found out exactly what I need on a weekly basis to keep my measures stable. I know what kind of foods work best for me, right? What I can eat to put on weight and what I can eat to stay a little bit leaner,
Hmm.
right? It was just manipulating of my diet without really making major changes,
Right.
right? So everything became a routine for me. It's like, oh, this works. Why would I change it, right?
That's it.
So I rotate maybe 6 different meals on a weekly basis, and I just keep it going. So
Hmm.
well, I'm sick and tired of beef or chicken.
Yep.
Tired of chicken? Let's go eggs or fish, or and it
Right.
just keeps rotating from whole foods to whole food to whole food, right?
Hmm.
And you no longer go to restaurants. When you do, well, you got to plan it in. It's like, okay, well, I know I'm going to be eating this. I know I'm going to be feeling like that. What am I doing afterwards?
Hmm.
Okay, I can afford to lose that 2 hours or whatever,
Right.
right? And I understand I'm going to feel it.
Hmm.
Now it's controlled. It's no longer me leaving it to chance. Everything is planned. Every meal is made. Every day is planned out by the hour. I've got my workout at this time. I work at that time. This is when I sleep. This is when I do my homework and whatnot.
Hmm.
And living that kind of life is what has helped me get to where I am now.
Right. And it's
And
not stressful for you, Rock? Like having all that structure for someone like yourself, you find that really that's the benefit of being structured, all the planning and all the laying it out. You have peace of mind there. Some of the people watching the podcast might be thinking like that's too obsessive for me, and too structured. I can't do that. What would you say to those people?
I'd say you're absolutely right. But this journey took me a few years, right? We have to understand that, yeah, you can't take off running as much
Hmm.
as you want to, right? You'll leave half the stuff behind and realize, hey, I'm making great progress. No, I'm really not.
Yeah.
Right? Same idea. Like I started with just, hey, food. I got to eat more if I want to weigh more,
Hmm.
right? And so it started that way. And
Hmm.
then at the police college, I was actually the food was free. So off I go to the cafeteria and I'd start loading up, eating to the point I wanted to puke.
Right.
And I'm like, why am I not gaining weight? And it's because it would take me so long to recover from all that food that I didn't have the hunger the next meal around. I would eat like a rabbit then and then wait till supper and then gorge again and then be bloated overnight. And it was just a repetition. I was never gaining the weight. And
Yeah.
same idea because of bread and other products that just didn't agree with my stomach. So once I learned what I could eat and how it affected me, then it was a lot easier to put on some weight. And I found out I could eat larger portions without the bloating.
Yeah.
So food was number one. Afterwards, well, I was into sports, right? I understood, oh, I can't play contact sports anymore. I mean, I'm in my 40s and it hurts,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? But I can play golf. I can go running. I can go cycling. I will play soccer. Why not? It's good for my stamina. It's good for my mobility, right? So then I would just apply that because I'm not the person that would hop on a trail and start jogging,
Right.
right? If I'm running, there's a reason. Something
Yeah.
behind me or I'm chasing. So I had to apply sports for it to be fun.
Hmm.
And then I found weightlifting. Well, weightlifting started changing my body composition. And then it was like, oh, I like that. I like how I look now that I just did a 45-minute workout, right? And then you'd go home, you'd rest, you'd wake up the next morning, like, oh, let's go look in the mirror. And you go in the mirror and you're like, all right, everything's gone. What just happened? This is this mind game with me. So you go back to the gym, you do another workout, and like, oh, okay, I look great. It feels great. And they would just keep doing this. And I was like, all right, well, eventually this routine became a constant, right? I was always chasing that, how I felt afterwards, and wondering to myself, can I look like this eventually when I wake up? Well, after a month of doing this, noticed my body changing. I was like, okay, it's not anywhere where I want to be, but it's going somewhere. It's doing
Hmm.
something. Second month, third month, and then it wasn't until, hey, what are you doing? What do you mean? I don't know. You're looking good. Keep it up. And you're like, oh, I'm like, I've been looking at myself every day, but I'm not seeing those daily changes.
Right.
Right? The day that I look in the mirror, I'm like, oh, I'm not where I want to be. So wait till the next day. And then I would just repeat the cycle. And I'm like, I'm not where I want to be. I'm not where I want to be. You're right. But
Hmm.
look at where you were. And it wasn't until I go back to the old pictures, I'm like, wow, you're right. There is a difference.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, okay, now we got to focus on measurements, right? Because I'm not seeing it. My body, my own eyes are deceiving me. And so I would go through that power struggle. So, yes, weightlifting would probably be the third step, right? One being nutrition, two being movement, three being focused on weightlifting, on
Hmm.
building muscle. And I had this conversation with my father. Like, listen, Dad, you're only 52, so you're 74 years old, right? I mean, would you say you're as strong as you were when you were 50? They're like, well, no. I was like, why not? Well, I'm older. My muscles got smaller. I'm like, okay. Do you think it's because you're older? What do you mean? I was like, well, you think if you would have kept using them and doing the same things you were doing at 50, that you would have lost your muscles or gotten weaker, right? And that was the argument. So it's like, well, why are you stopping, right?
Hmm.
You can be that again. Just keep going. Don't stop. Give your body every opportunity to be healthy and strong as you are now. The only reason why it's declining is because you're not using it like you used to anymore,
Right.
right? And
Hmm.
at that point, it was like, hey, more things are starting to click. It's like, now it's like, yeah, he might be still strong, but if I watch him walk, he's not as straight as he used to be, or his step is not as aggressive or as long as it used to be. So now it's like, what if we worked on mobility?
Hmm.
Hey, Dad, are you stretching every day? Oh, yeah. Like you used to? Well, no.
Yeah.
Why not? I don't know. Don't have
Yeah.
to. And
Yeah.
same idea, right? It's like, okay. So it's like, okay, well, like, how would it be if you bent down to tie your shoe, right? Would you be in this position, or would you have to sit down on a chair? Like,
Yeah.
and why? And getting up, do you need the help of your hands? Or could you lift yourself just using your legs? And it's like, I don't know. But when you look at people, they're often using the easiest way to do things,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
We never use the most difficult thing, right?
Path
We
of
don't
least
have that focus.
resistance.
So you literally have to train with the intention of putting tension on your muscles and
Hmm.
make yourself very uncomfortable. So it's like,
Hmm.
oh, I need to intentionally do this. I need to do this as a homework. Well, how can I apply this into my everyday life so that I don't have to spend an hour at the gym? Because not everybody can.
Hmm.
So I joined the bike crew. Put me on the bicycles. I'm going to bicycle 40 kilometers a day. And I did. And I loved it. Right? It was fantastic. I was getting cardio. I was getting shredded. I was eating like a horse because I had to feed myself and fuel myself for this 12 hours of riding. And with all my gear on top of it, on top of that, right? So you're perspiring a lot, you're drinking a lot of water, you're eating a lot of food. And I'm noticing that at the end of the day, I am sleeping like a log, right? Like I will have 8 hours of sleep, no problem. I will go to bed early. You don't have to ask me. Like I'm
Yeah.
there, right?
Yeah.
Wake up the next day, it's like, oh, wow, I felt like I didn't move. I probably didn't, right? Because I've exhausted my body. My body needed the rest, and I got sound sleep,
Hmm.
and I felt wonderful. It's like, wow, the more I tax my body during the day, the better sleep I get. So now it's like, okay, now I got to add this. I need to add more intensity to my workouts, right? So added that step.
Mm-hmm.
And as I went along, well, the other ones are already routine. I don't have to remember it. I'm already doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Like right now, just prior to this podcast,
Yeah.
I was in the kitchen, meal prepping. Everything's in the crock pot. Everything's done,
Yeah.
right? I just have to wait till 7 o'clock and it'll be ready and I'll have my meals set for the next day, 2 days,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that's what I had to get good at, utilizing my time effectively and delaying gratification. That is what helped me propel probably to the next level, right? Delaying my gratification. Because as soon as I finish a task, it's like, celebrate, coffee
Yeah.
time, break, whatever. No, I could use an app.
Yeah.
And off I went. Now, it was good in self way because I'm looking after myself. I'm being good to my body, sure. But by delaying gratification, I was forcing myself to be more effective and I demanded more out of myself. So, same idea, to be more productive during my day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, that's awesome. And without throwing you off track, I just want to go back to your dad for a second. You were saying he was in his 70s when you had this conversation?
Right.
Yeah. Did you have a talk with him about the testosterone replacement therapy, and would that would apply to his life at that point?
So I have spoken to him about this in the past, and in the past, I was like, I don't need that, right? It's still the old mentality. It's a steroid. I don't. What am I going to do with that? I'm not going to
Yeah.
start bodybuilding. I was like, you're right, Dad. You're not. Wouldn't expect it, but I mean, your levels would improve. So would your mood. So would every, and it would actually give you that enhanced edge to want to do more, right? And maybe start exercising again.
Mm-hmm.
And then the ball starts rolling.
Yeah.
You're off to the races, right? His hunger increases, which he's going to need.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the food that's making him fat, it's the inactivity that's making him fat, or the alcohol,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Whatever it is. And if he continues to take the testosterone and keep himself at a average level, right, he will feel 100 times better than he does now, and the rest will progress, like his mood, his marriage, his relationship with his friends, everything,
So many
right?
carryovers. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Would he start with blood work, do you think? Like going to get a blood work test?
Always,
Yeah.
right? You always want to start, you want to make sure everything is at least normal,
Hmm.
normal ranges, except for cholesterol.
Yeah.
If cholesterol is high, that's fine. Don't let the doctors fool you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's a different thing altogether.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. No, I just wanted to kind of ask because, again, a lot of people watching the show might be thinking, after the age of 50, 60, 70, like, is it still valuable to look at that replacement therapy? For a lot of people, it's kind of a new thing. They've heard of steroids, but they don't realize there's a therapeutic way of dosing that can keep it from being an excessive, usage of it. And it's not something to be afraid of. It's actually benefiting you, like you've spoken about. So just curious as to whether or not your dad did follow through with that or didn't, or still, listening to your recommendation but not taking the advice.
I believe he's still on the fence,
Yeah.
uh, but it's a conversation we have, and we have good debates about it,
Hmm.
right? And at the end, I ask him, "What is it you're afraid of?" Not afraid of anything. Okay, well, if there is a benefit to it, will you be upset? No. Okay. And if there's no benefit to it, will you be upset? No. Like, so there's
Yeah.
really no risk in trying it then, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And you've
So
seen what it's done for you, obviously. You put on about 25 pounds, you said, in the first 3 weeks. I mean, that was obviously you were doing weight training at the same time.
so back then I was doing weight training, but I mean my weight training was what I'd seen on TV, what I read in books, what I saw online, what I saw other people doing, I would just try to mimic, right?
Mm.
Because prior to the age of 37, me going to a gym was like, oh, I see people bench pressing. Okay. Did I know how to bench press? No, I knew the bar had to go from this to
Yeah.
this, and that's about it, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And yeah, so once you decide to finally step into the gym, get the courage, and you do enough people watching without being a complete creep, you
Yeah.
learn some things, and then you start questioning, okay, and what is that? And that's this, okay, and then you ask a trainer, and I did have a trainer for the first week that I was there, and it was, I guess, they're complimentary, where you come in, they give you so many
Okay.
hours and then ask you if you want to continue.
Right, right.
That was the promotion at Good Life. That was the
Yeah,
first
okay.
thing I decided to go to.
Right
Right.
on.
And I'm there and I'm picking up my 25-pound weights and I'm thinking, all right, I got this. Like, oh yeah, this feels good. I'm doing an exercise. And I'm looking at that person next to me and he's picking up the 90 pounds and he starts doing the same thing. And I'm like, okay, maybe 25 is just a warm up. No problem. Go and pick up the 50s. Carry that over to the bench, right? Start lugging it over and you're giving everything you've got and you look silly.
Yeah.
Right? I'm realizing that, yeah, my face is purple. This is not moving the direction it's supposed to go. I'm in pain.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not doing it right.
Yeah.
Proceed to return them to the bench, tail between your legs, and you stop working out.
Mm-hmm.
Because now I'm embarrassed.
Right.
Right? I couldn't even do half the weight of this person there. And it's the ego has to check out. And that was another thing I had to learn. Right? As much as my intentions were great, check the ego out the door, pick up a weight you can handle and actually do the proper form. And then that's when you realize, hey, I know what muscle I'm supposed to activate now. I can feel my mind to muscle connection, right? And I'm realizing that, oh, this is what I'm doing. I'm not just moving a weight from here to here. I'm using this muscle, asking it to flex to its maximum capacity, and as a result, bring the weight to that distance, right?
Right.
Now it's like, okay, there's a mechanic to this. I understand this now, what I need to do. And so now I start applying that to the rest of my exercises. Well, at first it was very, very humbling. You get to
Mm-hmm.
some machines, it's like 10 pounds. Oh, this is difficult. Great. Oh, okay, we got to get through this, right? We're not going to get stronger unless we do this part. And off you went. And that was the difficult part. Anybody watching? No. Okay, here we go. Right. And
Yeah.
the squats, dear God, the squats were always the worst because when I started, there wasn't really Smith machines, right? It was
Right.
just a squat rack.
Yeah.
So you grab that bar and you put it on your shoulders, and it's very uncomfortable and not really flexible. My arms are like trying to hold back, and down I go, and the bar is bruising the back of my neck.
Yep.
I'm off balance, right? And I look silly, and I'm like, okay, I can't even do the bar, right? Not because I can't lift it. The weight is fine,
Yeah.
but it's so awkward. I'm falling back or I'm falling forward. And so, yeah, practicing that mundane movement until you felt I've got balance now. Okay, I can maybe add 10 pounds on each side and not feel silly. And
Right.
off I went. And yeah, that was the difficult part, the starting and realizing that, hey, you suck right now, and that's okay because you're not going to suck later.
That's a
Right?
great communication. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's everybody's biggest fear.
Mm-hmm.
If I ask you to do something you've never done and you feel uncomfortable doing, and then once you start doing it, you're even more uncomfortable,
Yeah.
right? To stick through it. And you're not enjoying this and you're not even sure if you're doing it right, but you continue and then you finally see, hey, I'm understanding this now. I
Mm-hmm.
can see the benefit, or I'm now having fun because I don't feel so new, right? My movements don't look so erratic or new, right? I have proper form, and now you start getting excited about it, right? Next thing you know, your body starts to get its first change, right? Either you put on a shirt, and it's like, wait, is this tight?
Yeah.
It's straight? I must no. This maybe my arm's getting bigger. So then you start measuring. It's like, oh, it did. Like
Mhm.
it grew a quarter of an inch. Right? I wouldn't have known if I didn't measure.
Right.
Or you put on a pair of pants and all of a sudden they used to be snug on you and now they're loose. Oh, right. Now you start looking in the mirror and you like the reflection. Well, once that happens, the slippery slope is before you because now you can see that it is within your control. You can do this, just keep doing it longer, right? And yeah, once I hit that part and I saw that I was in control of how my body will look like, depending on the amount of intensity I apply, how I eat, and the people I hang out with.
Mm.
Right? All my friends back then were drinkers. The normal thing to do was to go out Friday night to the local pub and have beer and wings. I had recently gone for beer and wings, actually a couple months ago, with some friends of mine. It was a celebration after my first bodybuilding competition. And I was in so much pain for 2 hours afterwards because the beer and the wing combination just bloated me completely. And I'm like, oh my God, that was my reward.
Mm.
This was my meal that I've been looking for, and I am doubled over. I'm like, I can't even enjoy it, right?
Right.
And it's because the wheat in the beer and the breaded chicken wings,
Yeah.
things I don't eat anymore, right? I haven't introduced in my diet in a very long time. So immediately when I did, my body was telling me, this is poison. You don't like this.
Right.
And I paid the price. Yeah.
So measuring, tracking results, you started doing that with the exercise at the beginning, and then, like you said, measuring your physical body. You also had the trainer for a short period of time. Were you guys tracking and realizing like the tracking system of how much weight you were lifting? You said it was humbling and things. Were you working on specific incremental tracking of your strength at that point, or was it more just kind of learning the movements? Like, what was the tracking looking like in the way of weightlifting?
Because it was just an introduction, there
Yeah,
was really no tracking that took place. It was basically showing me how to use every machine properly,
right.
uh, mostly to avoid injury and
Yeah,
to, because some of them you look at them and like, I have no idea what I'm looking at here and how I'm supposed to sit,
right.
right? And
Yeah,
some of them I've approached and they're like, yep, you're facing the wrong way. Oh, great. All right.
yeah.
Right. So you're grateful you've got a trainer there so you can at least take that
Navigate.
out of the way.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And because, yeah, from a Planet Fitness to a Good Life Fitness to a Crunch, I mean, they all have
If,
different kinds of styles of machines and they all do similar movements.
right. Yeah.
Right.
So how long would you say it took you to kind of get familiar and comfortable with the training aspect, like to the point where you were confident enough? Obviously, you didn't have a trainer anymore, but you were just kind of, on your own and not just winging it. How long did that take? What did that journey look like?
So the big, just prior to COVID, I had opened up, I decided to, hey, I've been teaching some students now, and I'm getting some great feedback from my students telling me that they appreciate the way I teach, they like the way I'm showing them, I'm energetic, it's fun. They actually look forward to going to a physically demanding class, and they actually thought it was going to be a drag, right?
Okay.
So I was like, oh, excellent. I'm like, well, I've got something here. So did my research and I paid into a program called High Ticket Trainers.
Hmm.
This is a program to teach people how to mentor others, how to coach them, and provide them with the means they need, right? Sales tactics, as well as overcoming obstacles that they might have, right? Because everybody will have a million excuses on why they shouldn't do this today,
Hmm.
whether it be for personal reasons, financial reasons, spiritual reasons. I mean, you can name an excuse and they can make it valid, right? And my job was to show them, well, this is why you shouldn't,
Right.
right? Deny this for yourself.
Yeah.
And so with that program, it gave me means to help clients online, not just by word of mouth or through Google Documents, but through use of an application that I personalized and tracked myself. So utilizing these tools that they provided me with, I was able to open up my first uh, online training, which was called Rock Your Body Industry. I didn't open that for more than 3 months, 4 months, and then COVID hit.
Right.
And well, my life changed upside down as well as half the world or the entire world. And so that kind of fell back. And it wasn't until after COVID that I was like, okay, I'm now single again, living on my own. I've got a plan ahead of me, a bucket list of things I want to do, and one of them was join my first bodybuilding competition. Right, and like I put a lot of effort into my body composition, and I feel like I can present myself on stage without making a fool of myself. Right, no intention of winning. This is just to prove to myself that, hey, you're not too old to challenge yourself and reach for the stars kind of deal. So I signed up for the Subway Championship, the Classic Championship, and on May 24, and I announced it online. I committed myself to my online fans and I said, I'm competing here and I'm doing this at that date. And that was it. That was me tell myself, if I can do this, then it's another way of me showing that it doesn't matter what age you decide to do something, you can achieve it, you put your mind to it, right? Everything they teach you as a kid. If you want to be an astronaut, you can be an astronaut. Well, I wanted to be a bodybuilder, so
Damn
that's
right.
what I did.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I opened up my own online coaching and called it Tempered Warriors.
Okay.
It's very much the same format as my previous Rock Your Body Industry. I just rebranded and I changed my niche. My niche now is more geared towards mental health. It's geared towards testosterone replacement therapy, mobility, strength training, and life coaching. Because that's where I feel people fall off. They get into their 40s, their kids are getting ready to go to college. They're about to become empty nesters. They've not looked after themselves in the past 20 years since they started having kids and really putting their focus on their careers. And they come out of there, they're 44, 46, 47. They're like, how did it get to this?
Yeah, right.
And why does it hurt for me to just get out of bed? And I can't even tie my shoe without sitting down. And I get it, right? Because I wasn't really focusing on my mobility either. I was just avoiding some of these movements and realizing that I was adapting in other ways to do these movements so that I didn't have to.
Right.
Like, I'm doing this in the shape I'm at. Imagine others around me. So I started talking about that. I started presenting regular problems that everybody has and that I was having myself because I wasn't challenging myself in those ways, right? Sure, I can squat now 250 pounds, but don't ask me to bend in this fashion. I will break.
Yeah.
Kind of deal, right?
Yeah.
So then it was, okay, well, let's start with the basics. Let's get everybody's hips moving again, their knees moving again, and just able and balanced.
Right.
And once I improve their balance, then they become more confident in their ability themselves. They don't feel so shaky.
Mm-hmm.
Even going downstairs is the automatic thing is to grab the railing. But when you've got your balance, the railing is the decoration. You're flying on these stairs without the use of it.
Right.
And the first time you do that, it hits you. It's like, oh my gosh, I didn't use a railing. Or I'm not using my hands on my knees to walk up the stairs once I get to the top.
Right.
I'm a little winded, but I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gasping for air. Right? It's
Yeah.
all these little changes. And this is where I found my training came in better. I was able to communicate more with people my age, and I got a lot more feedback from them. Explaining that yes, this is exactly where I'm at. I already know how to work out. Because they're in their 40s. It's not their first day in the gym. They've been there before. That's not where they need help, right? And they're like, but I don't meal prep. I was like, okay, so you know how to meal prep? Yes. Okay, so it's time management. It's importance. It's where you put your emphasis, right? I'm like, listen, what is your go-to where you've got time to yourself? What are you planning? Like, well, on the weekend, I'm golfing. Okay, so Saturday morning, 8 o'clock, you're on that course and you're golfing for 4 hours. Yes, sir. Okay. Are you riding? Well, yeah. Okay. You could walk it, you'd save cash, you'd be more tired, but there's an extra 800 calories that you're probably going to burn.
Hmm.
Those 10,000 steps you're going to add.
Hmm.
Oh, it's an
Absolutely.
extra step you're going to take just to be in the shade,
Yeah.
stuff like this. And they're like, oh, I know, but I mean, it's like get uncomfortable now so that everything else in life is easier, right? And it's helping yourself in that way. So there's another step they can take, right? And
Right.
that's where I'm able to help them and apply it on a day-to-day basis. Where, man, park 100 feet away from the door instead of 50 feet.
Right.
Give yourself a few extra steps. It's not going to kill you. It's not winter yet, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
fall. This is the best weather. Now's the time to do it.
Hmm.
Um, Clearing their mind, helping them find peace. I don't know how many men go to work and come back at night or in the morning and they just want to relax. Right? I need my peace now. I've given it my all. I'm now home. I've got nothing else to give. At least give me my 20 minutes. And for the most part, I don't think they do.
Hmm.
They're greeted at the door most of the time. It's either their spouse or their kids, right? If they're lucky, dog or
Hmm.
cat as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Right? And yeah, they're going to get that burst of love, energy. It might revitalize them a little bit. But once they sit, that's when it happens. Everything stops for the most
Hmm.
part, right? You're now settling down. And sometimes we reach for vices, right? And if you drink, that's normally when the beer or the drink starts to get poured, and because you're always looking for your out.
Hmm.
So talking about delaying gratitude, right? Don't make it for 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock. Try to delay it till 8, right?
Right.
Next thing you know, well, you're only having one drink before bed.
Mm.
I'm not telling you to take your vices away, but don't drink three of them.
Right.
Have one. And you're like, well, I like to get a buzz. I was like, okay, well, you won't need it,
Yeah.
right? Don't chase a feeling. Drink for a different purpose. Like program your mind in a certain way so that your récompense, your how do you say that in English? when your trophy, so to speak, is not chasing a feeling or feeding your addiction.
Right.
We're all going to have addictions, but try not to feed into it. Try to be in control of it.
Yeah.
Right? And that was another thing I had to conquer, right? My drinking. My drinking was horrible.
Okay.
It was come home after work. It's 5 o'clock. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to have a drink. Well, you have a drink with supper, then you sit down in front of the TV, you have another drink. Oh, well, that drink's done, or the hockey game's about to start. Well, might as well have another drink. And next thing you know, you've had five, maybe six drinks before you go to bed. And that becomes the norm, right? And you
Hmm.
start calculating, well, geez, yeah, okay, maybe I'm drinking Ultra. It's only 90 calories per. Okay, well, 90 calories times six.
Yeah.
It
Still
adds
adds
up.
up.
And
Yeah.
you're doing this every day and you're sat down, you're not active. And every time you drink alcohol, what am I doing? I'm shutting down my immune system. I'm shutting down my ability to burn fat. Even my metabolism is slowed down, right? Because now
Hmm.
the focus of my body is to burn this alcohol and filter it through my kidneys and my liver, right? So that's what my body is focusing on now. It's not digesting food anymore. It's
Yeah.
not worried about fighting disease and keeping me healthy. It just wants to get rid of the poison I've just consumed. And
Yeah.
I've consumed more and more and more.
Mm.
And so I tell people, like, don't deny yourself that drink if that's what you're chasing at the end of the day. Give yourself that reward. If that must be your reward and that's the only reward you give yourself, fine. But one, two,
That's
not
a
five.
really, yeah, that's a good tip. I like how you talked about that delayed gratification. Push it a little further out. You might only have one instead of three. The other problem I think a lot of people have, and again, I want to hear from your story, but you mentioned earlier your community, the people you surround yourself with. A lot of those people might be the drinkers that are kind of encouraging. I know you're talking about at home, kind of just settling down and stuff, but I find a lot of people too, They just end up falling victim to at home they control it, but then they go out with friends and they can't control it there because they feel like the odd person out or the loser of the group, right? Did you
Yeah.
have to go and literally, start firing your friends in a sense, getting rid of people around you? Or how'd you deal with that?
Well, it actually affected me a lot more than I expected because when I was working in Toronto, I worked with a guy named Ian. I'll spare his last name, but
Okay.
he was what was he? Jiu-jitsu,
Okay.
right? Jiu-jitsu or judo, sorry. And
Mhm.
he competed in judo, and he was very high ranked in Canada. And so his physique was amazing. And every time we would go out for camaraderie, like and have drinks, he'd be there drinking his water. And I'd be like, Ian, like, how do you do it? Like, you look fantastic and everything, but like, you don't drink. How do you have fun? And I couldn't associate having fun without drinking because, well, that's the atmosphere I grew up with. Everybody that was having fun was drinking, right? Let's go have fun. Open some drinks. It was just that was the norm. You can't have fun without it. So yeah, if I wasn't drinking, I wouldn't associate it with having fun. And he would be there like, well, I like the way I look. I like the way I feel. I don't need drinks to feel good. I don't need a drink to have fun. And I really didn't understand that. Right.
Right.
And it didn't bother me, but did it affect how much I drank? Yes, it did. Right. I'd be like, oh, I'm not going to have that third one. And I would just kind of sit there and I'd be like, all right, now what? Guess
Yeah.
I'll drink water. Right. It
Right.
was kind of influencing me. And then when it came to me going out with my friends and I had given up drinking, I reserve it for Christmas time and maybe when I go hunting, right? I
Yeah.
mean, I give it certain times of the year now to have it. It's very select. But for every day, I don't choose it after work. I don't choose it on my weekends. It's not part of my life. I've now given up drinking. So to me, to go out with friends and we're going out to a bar or an establishment in a restaurant, everybody else is drinking. I'm ordering my water and I don't even think twice about, oh man, I wish I was having a drink
Mm.
because the way it makes me feel the next day, right, is I feel sluggish. I feel lethargic. My same idea. It affects me
Hmm.
mentally and physically, even if I only had a little bit. Because now I'll have one beer, I will be tipsy,
Right.
right? My body's like, hey, we haven't had this in a while. And all of a
Yeah.
sudden I'm like lightheaded. And
Yeah.
woo, wow, I'm already got a buzz.
Yeah.
And it's not even my intention at that point. I was just trying to be social with everybody else. And I'm
Right.
like, wow, this is how it affects me after one. And I used to have six,
Right.
right? And so thinking about all that, what am I doing? What was I doing to my body? No wonder I wasn't gaining weight. No wonder I wasn't doing this or wasn't giving myself a chance, right?
Mhm.
And now that I don't introduce that into my body, I find it responds a lot better. I can hold weight better. I feel stronger. My skin is clearer. My mind is not drifting off.
Right. Yeah. Cognitive's improved.
100%.
Which is also very important for your job. Are you still policing now?
I am.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So it's very important for your job.
Well, that's another thing. Back in 2023, I was diagnosed with PTSD, and
Okay.
it was related due to work, right? After 17 years of being on the road and coming across so many calls that are life changing to others, right? And it becomes, well, another Saturday for me, right? They might experience traumatic events 8 times in their lifetime, and that would be considered a lot. And I'm experiencing eight on a weekly basis, right?
Weekly.
Over the past 17 years.
Hmm.
And my viewpoint on things had changed. It affected my personality. It affected my mood, right? I'm no longer, you're always going to the worst day of that person, right?
Right.
So you're not getting Mr. or Mrs. Joyful.
Yeah.
You're getting Mr. and Mrs. My life is upside down right now. You better fix it or whatever.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're it.
Mm.
because you don't call the police for fun. You call the police because, well, shit hit the fan and now it's out of my hands.
Yeah.
And so when that's all you're seeing, and that's for the majority of the part, the only people you're interacting with, you start going down a dark path because you no longer see the positive. You don't see the good in people. You only see the worst. And that that got to me. And it wasn't until a coworker approached me one day and said, "Hey, you've had a few complaints. Maybe you should go talk to somebody." And I'm thinking to myself, like, you messing with me? Like, you just saying that? Like, hey,
For
you should
real?
go talk
Yeah.
to someone? Like this, it comes from a place, Rock. I'm like, damn. I'm like, I know people with mental health problems. I never thought that would be me. I didn't think somebody would be saying those words to myself. I'm not usually a person to reach out to others for help, but I'm always there to help them. And here's somebody voicing out to me, telling me that, hey, maybe you should go talk to somebody. I'm like, I'm going to take it seriously. Right.
Hmm.
And the very next day, it was like, okay, I went and spoke to a psychiatrist and I said, a psychologist, sorry. And I told him what was going on. And he's like, wow, you've got a lot. And
Yeah.
yeah, I'm willing to take you on. And that's where the journey, the healing process began. And it wasn't until WSIB stepped in and said, well, you need to go speak to this person here so that they can fill out a report and let us know how bad this injury is.
Okay.
Right. And I'm thinking to myself, well, we're still referring to my head here.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
You keep calling it an injury, right? And
Injury. Yeah.
I'm like, I didn't get hit in it. Well, I've been hit in the head, but I mean, not recently.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're like, the way he explained is like, no, you really got to treat it like an injury. Like your brain is swollen, and it's by progressively being away from the trauma that it'll be able to heal and return back to non-swollen state. And I was like, okay, well, I like the way you explain that. Just
Hmm.
remove yourself from the stress and get used to not being in the stress continuously, right? And
Okay.
allow your nervous system to relax.
Right.
Well, at first it was medication, off to the doctor. They're like, oh, you need Zoloft. And here you're thinking, oh, no, this is it. Now I'm on medication. What next?
Hmm.
Now I can't manage my own emotions. I'm broken. How are people going to react? Don't want to talk to anybody. You start thinking there's something wrong with you. And more negative thoughts start to creep in, right? And luckily, speaking with a psychologist,
Yeah.
um, they find a way to explain it to you so that you don't get your back up.
Right.
You can take your ego and put it aside and just say, it's not all your fault,
Hmm. Yeah.
right? Let's change some habits. Let's change your viewing points. And let me rest you assured that it's okay for you to go through this, right?
Hmm.
And it's then that you're like, oh, okay, I'm broken, but I'm not without repair,
Right.
right? So you take the time. After 22 months, and it took a while, right? I returned to work. I'm actually just finishing my return to work process now and going back to full shifts starting Monday.
Okay.
Sorry, Monday. So yeah, this journey is still ongoing and has been going for years. And the only reason why I'm as strict as I am now is because I've had years to practice this, and it didn't happen overnight,
Right.
right? I'm receiving the benefits of being so strict now and reaping the rewards now consistently on a daily basis because of the legwork that I've done in the past. But it was up and down. It wasn't linear,
Yeah.
right? They'll say, "Oh man, you're climbing, you're climbing." Yeah, but we fall back, and it's up and down all the way until finally you get there. Right
Hmm.
now, I'm riding a high
Yeah.
and trying to keep every positive thing lined up so that it can continue to rise, right? But I'm ready for the falls. I'm ready to. It's all about how fast you bounce back.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
now we're focusing on our grounding. We're focusing on our inner peace. We're
Right.
focusing on the people we allow into our lives. Because if my best friend is the most negative person, and what we do every time we meet is we have a bitch fest and we talk about all the shitty things that happens in life, that feeds me. I'm involving myself in a negative aura, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
it's contagious.
Absolutely.
So now the people that I surround myself with have a positive outlook. They smile. Not telling you they can't have a bad day, of course. Have your bad day, have it out. But generally, they have a positive outlook,
Yeah.
right? It's like going to golf. I'm going to smash that ball enough. It's in the bush. Okay, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
That, right? But then I'll drop another ball and we're back to normal,
Mm-hmm.
right? But if I'm going to complain about that last shot for the rest of that hole and maybe a little bit of the hole after, you're not going to be very pleasant to golf with, right? And it's just going to bring you down. It's going to worsen your game. Same idea with life. So have the bad, bounce back, and say, I'm going to fill the rest of my cup with all positive energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so now this is very important in my life. It's like, okay, something happened. I'm deal with this emotion right now, or I'm going to put it on the shelf because I don't have time for it
Mm-hmm.
and come back to it later, right? But you don't neglect it.
Right.
And my periods for myself, like if I'm upset, I will take the time to calm myself down, right? It's if I stay at that pattern and for too long, is dangerous for anybody, right? To just continue and
Mm-hmm.
erupt eventually. So
Yeah.
now I can notice these patterns sooner. It's like, ooh, I see where this is going, and take a step back. I'm gonna change my approach on this kind of deal.
I wrote down just recognizing triggers. That's really important for people. I see a lot of parallel in your story, obviously, with the PTSD and the recovery and the slow incremental healing. People who get into fitness and want to lose weight real fast, and they've realized they don't realize all the years that it took to get there, you know, before they just want to fix it in a day, you know, and expect that quick result. There's such a parallel there between your traumatic healing and turning back. How long did you say you were away from work to get that peace of mind where you could return again?
So it took me maybe 18 months to
18 months.
return back to normal, but it wasn't until the 22nd month that I actually stepped back into work.
Okay. Yeah. Like that's a good amount of time there to heal up. Like I mean it takes time and people need to realize that it wasn't a quick fix, you know, I've just take some time off, take a week off and come back, you know.
When I was first off, I thought, okay, like a month, right? I'll be good.
Yeah.
And after a month, I'm like, I'm no better off than day one. And
Hmm.
then 3 months is down the road, you're like, oh my gosh, like I'm still off work, right? And at the time, I was in a relationship, and even my partner at the time, like, when are you going back? And
Okay.
so you've got that in your ear, right? It's not an ill intent, and they're not trying to harp on you, but now you've got that. Oh yeah, I've been off 3 months. If she's already thinking that, what are my coworkers thinking?
Right.
So
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's easy to get paranoid when you're off of work, you're on medication, you don't feel any better, you don't know what's wrong, and so medication seems to be the only way you can take. And when I took it, it was that numbing feeling.
Right.
Like, right, I'm not anxious anymore, but I'm not anything anymore.
Yeah.
I can't even be happy,
Mm.
right? I could go play baseball right now, and if I knocked one over the fence, I don't think I'd have more of a reaction than, huh.
Yeah.
it's,
Just be another.
so I was like, I don't like myself this way. I was like, yeah, sure, I'm not depressed, I'm not unhappy, but I'm not getting any triggers for anything.
Right. Just zombie mode.
So I started gradually reducing my the amount of
Medication.
milligrams that I was taking to the point that I weaned myself off. And at that point, I had managed to mitigate my feelings, my emotions, and the dread I was feeling. But the dread was self-caused by, my inner panic. It was me feeding the negative, thinking the worst, right? Instead of looking at, hey, I'm healthy. I'm lucky I've got a job that, I can still support myself and look after myself without having to worry of finances behind me, right? And I did at the beginning because you're not automatically approved for WSIB. So I exhausted all my time off. I exhausted all my sick days to the point where work's calling and saying, "Hey, you coming back because we're not paying you anymore," and you're like, "I can't," right? And to accept that, I was willing to just say, "Oh my God, I'm out of sick days. I'm out of vacation. I'm out of everything. I got to get back to work," and I'm having that panic, and my psychologist is like, "No, Roch, you can't." And so then he signs you off, and you're like, WSIB finally steps in, and you're like, I can breathe.
Yeah.
Right? And it wasn't until that happened that the healing finally took place, because I was actually able to stop worrying about all the external factors that was out of my control and just focus on me getting better.
Right.
So that was probably the scariest part of my life, where you start worrying about being able to care for your family, but you still have to care for yourself. And I think that's where a lot of men fall short, right? They lack in the support from either the family or the finances, and they feel trapped. And at that point, they spiral out of control, and a lot of men choose suicide.
Right.
And we know we don't talk to anybody about these because we don't feel we can. You're alone at that point. And
Yeah.
thank goodness for, in my case, Dr. Carrera. I'll give a shout out to that man, because he really helped me understand how to view life in a different perspective and to not victimize myself, even though I felt victim at that point, right? Because everything's going wrong. It can't be me,
Yeah.
right?
Did
So
you were mentioning the suicidal type of thing that a lot of guys turn to? It's a common thought when you're in dark places. Did you go down that path at all, or was that not something that you got to?
luckily, I have like a self-destruct mode that will prevent me from doing that.
Okay. Okay.
That's I can't do anything that I'm going to harm myself, right? Because it's counterproductive to what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to heal myself. I'm trying to get myself into a better spot. So for me to try to cut myself or to think like I'm just going to end it all, I just couldn't be so selfish, and I just couldn't allow myself to get there. So for me, it was never, I never felt like that was my only option. I
Okay.
never felt like there was an option, right?
Okay.
And I think that's what saved me from it, because I never allowed it to be an option. It was just,
Good.
nope, that's not it. We're going now. We're going to go somewhere dark, but it's not going to be there.
Okay. Right.
Right? And it's a lot more self-blaming and down talking, right? And
Okay.
that's where I really learned the importance of positive thinking and grounding, right? Looking in
Yes.
the mirror, going, "Ah, you idiot! Oh, you're so stupid!" Or "How did you miss that? Ah, you suck!" And all these negative motivators. And I'm yelling it at the mirror. I'm yelling it at myself. I would never talk to somebody that way. Never in a million years would I go to another person and say, "Man, you suck." No. Why am I doing that to me? That's not me, right? During the revelation, like, oh my gosh, I'm the first person to go, "Man, good job. Well done. Great effort, whatever." And here I am bashing myself in private,
Right.
right? And yeah, my psychologist is like, why? I'm like, because I expect better of me. Okay, but you're not. So now what? You're just going to keep saying that? And, right?
Yep.
And you just really put in perspective, like, why are you being so bad to yourself, but you're being so good to everybody else? I'm like, well, because I know that this will motivate them and make them feel good. He's like, so then why aren't you doing that to you? I'm like, haha, funny. But that's me telling me. He's like, yeah, try it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as stupid as it sounded, all right, fine. I'll look in the mirror. You're doing great.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then start rhyming off some of the stuff you are doing great.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you made food for tomorrow. Oh, yeah, I did. Okay, who cares? Everybody cooks for themselves. Hey, you did the laundry. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I did do the laundry. Okay, big deal. Everybody does laundry. It's like, yeah, but you're doing things and you're not celebrating everything you've accomplished in your day. Instead, you're bashing yourself for the one thing you didn't do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or something you missed. Instead, celebrate everything you've done. Forgive yourself for what you couldn't finish. Because let's face it, if you had given a task to somebody, a list of 30 things to do, and they came back to you and they said, hey, I did 29, you'd be like, oh, great, thank you. And you'd praise them.
Mm-hmm.
Praise yourself and stop being so damn hard because you couldn't accomplish what even you had set out to do. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And applying this to my own thinking, I started to be in a better mood because I was now appreciating myself for what I was accomplishing and feeling motivated that I'm being productive instead of feeling like I've lost my day because I didn't do that one thing.
Right.
Right?
Yeah,
So,
so many people would jump on that too. Like that's kind of the human mentality is to grab that one thing on the list of 30 that they didn't get done and say, Rock, I'm sorry, I let you down. I couldn't get that one thing done, man, and not celebrate the other 29 things, right? And we do that to ourselves, but we also feel almost like a guilt if we're trying to be responsible to someone else too, a family member or loved one, and we feel like we're letting them down because there's one thing we didn't do. That's pretty amazing. So I'm glad you mentioned that. Celebrate those 29 things you did do.
yeah, exactly. It's a simple concept,
Hmm.
right? And I'd like to say 90% of us don't do it.
Hmm.
And when we do talk to each other, it's, well, go golfing.
Yeah.
Go find out, right? You miss that shot, and all of a sudden the swear words come out. It's like, hey, man, you've golfed how many times this year? Well, it's my eighth round. Eighth.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. Did you expect to be a pro by now?
Yeah.
No, no.
Right.
Was that a good lie? Perfect. Nothing should have gone wrong. No. Okay.
Yeah.
You missed one. Next one. Let's
Yeah.
go. Right.
Yeah.
And same idea. It's forgive yourself for not being perfect. It's
Yeah. Yeah. Grace is part of the journey.
absolutely 100%. And same idea. Like I go to the gym now on a regular basis. I'll have some days it's like, wow, I feel so strong.
Mhm.
Everything's positive. Other days you go there and your warm up weight is like, whew, aha. Well, then I know what kind of workout today is going to be, but do your best.
Mhm.
And that's good enough, right? You left it all there and all you could give was 20%. You did your 20%. Well done.
Mhm.
Stop being, you still showed up. You showed up for yourself. You still did it. So celebrate what you did, not what you didn't do.
Right.
Right. And don't look at your left or your right or your left and say, well, they're doing better. They're not even on the same journey as you.
Right.
You don't even know what they're trying to achieve, where they're going, what the goal is,
Mhm.
right? Stay in your lane, keep that going, because that's what matters,
Mhm.
right? Never mind the comparison. And yeah, these are mind frames that have allowed me to just go to the next level without thinking that I'm holding myself back because I haven't achieved what somebody else has.
Mhm. Yeah, like you said, when your first trip to the gym, you were looking over and they were doing 50-pound dumbbells and you wanted to get on that right away to fit in, and it felt really silly and almost busted your ego and everything in one shot. And you're trying to do
Absolutely.
what the guy beside you is doing.
Well, it's like going online, right? You'll see a very buff female and she'll take a picture, and all of a sudden, someone will make a comment that, oh, you're too manly.
Mm.
And it's like, well, compared to who? Compared to
Hmm.
you, right? Is it because she's bigger than you, stronger than you? Like, I went to the gym and I've seen women that are completely shredded and they're lifting more weight than I am. I'm like, oh my God. My initial thought is, wow, that's so embarrassing. I can't do what she can do. Man, I haven't done what she has done to be the beast that she is now, right?
Right.
And I'm out there comparing myself and thinking, oh my God, her arms are bigger than mine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's put that in perspective. Her arms are bigger than yours. Imagine her journey when it started and the intensity, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, yeah, I probably wouldn't be able to do that, right?
Yeah.
And I haven't been training long enough to achieve that, or my intensity wasn't that.
Mm-hmm.
How can I expect it, right?
Right.
I see what she's doing, and she's giving it her all, and she's grunting, and she's sweating, and whew, okay, now I know how.
Mm-hmm.
Now I know what she needed to do, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And when you started your journey, obviously we were talking about age, and I know being, my age, I'm about 47. Internet wasn't as big. We didn't see a lot of people in the gym with social media and cameras and things like that around and stuff. You're still going to a gym? You're not doing home workouts, right? You're at a gym.
So right now I go to Riverside Family Fitness.
Okay.
This all changed when I did my bodybuilding competition because Joey Flores, he's an IFBB pro,
Hmm.
and that's his gym. And I needed his expertise to learn how to pose, right? I've never
Okay.
done posing. So that's another obstacle I had to overcome, right? Get out of my comfort zone. It's like, hey, you're going to be wearing trunks,
Right.
but they don't cover the legs. They're going to be like Speedo style, right?
Yep. Yep.
And we're going to see your glutes. And you're going to be showing off your body to the entire crowd as you flex. And well, if you're not comfortable with that, you're not going to compete.
Hmm.
So yeah, overcoming the shyness and being able to do the poses without feeling awkward. It's repetition. You do that first double bicep, and you think, "Wow, why am I not looking like the guys on TV or the guys on YouTube or whatever platform you're watching?" And yeah, they've got tricks and trades and how to turn and how to project and
Hmm.
how to stand, how to flex. So now it's like, okay, I've got to learn an entirely new game here. I am a newbie again, right? And it's that mentality that keeps us from reaching our dreams. It's like, man, I've got to restart. And I'm at the beginning while other people are already at intermediate or expert level.
Hmm.
Right? It's like, well, yeah, they've been doing it for a while.
Right.
So be a beginner and
Yeah.
off you go. And so I embraced it. I embraced that I was a beginner. I knew my poses were had to be crisp. I knew I was only get so many in because it takes me longer to get into my set pose. So it was like practice from one to the next and how to show off it. Did I forget some? Yes, I did. Did I miss some poses? Yes, I did. Is that the reason why I got second and third? Maybe, right? But I still did something right because I got second and third, right? So I embraced what I did do right, and I told myself I would improve where I lacked, right?
Right.
So I'm going again next year, challenging myself again. And now it's like, hey, I know I can do this now. I've done it before. So I've got renewed enthusiasm, better understanding. I'm not going in blind.
Mhm.
Now I feel like, hey, I've got so much more confidence than before was like, I have no idea what to expect. Let's just go.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And why? Because I took the time to be a newbie.
Hmm.
Right. And everybody knew I was a newbie. And you know what was funny? Hey, you're new here. Let us show you the ropes. Let us
Right.
show you how it's going to go. And that was great. Don't
Hmm.
be afraid to admit that this is your first time and you're a beginner because this community, the people, the support, and the people I've met just joining a bodybuilding competition has been phenomenal.
Right.
Everybody is on my same journey. We're all doing the same thing. And until you've taken a leap to do something at an extreme level where everybody else is at that extreme level, you it's hard to appreciate the people around you until you're there.
Hmm.
And it's like, I'm thinking, you're my competitor. Why are you even talking to me? Right. And they're like, no, you're not my competitor. You're a brother. You're a sister. You're somebody who's on the same journey as me. You're out to be in the best shape, condition that you can be to be the best presentation you can give,
Hmm.
right? And we're all here to do the same because we have an appreciation for this sport. And I was like, yes, and I love that.
Hmm.
Absolutely motivate your other.
Competitors, or I guess they're competitors, but they're also like family.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
Right? These are family. These are people that are all like-minded like you. Yeah, in the end, there can only be one first place, second place, third place, and so forth in every category, but you're celebrating that victory. As much as you're disappointed in not standing or placing, you're so happy because you see the effort that they've done. You see the
Yeah.
work. This is not something you can cheat, right?
Hmm.
It's like, oh, you can do steroids and do this. Sure, you still got to do the damn work.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
still got to eat the damn food. You
Yeah.
still have to have the discipline. And you know what? If they did everything I did and a little bit more and they win, then they deserve it.
Yeah.
And I can't dispute that because there's no getting lucky in this sport.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's crazy. And I love the idea of the family part, that camaraderie that you're going to experience in something like that, and challenging yourself to be a newbie again, starting over, in a sense, it keeps it fun and exciting and gives you a new goal as well, which is awesome. But let's celebrate your second and third place here for a second. Competitors wise, you came into this. There's obviously, because for people who are listening who don't know, there's some sort of a categorization that's not just, hey, it's men versus other men. You got an age group, a weight class. How does that work? Natural or not natural? What was your category like? What did it look like?
So for me, it all starts with, my God, Canadian, I forget the lingo now, CPA,
Okay, yeah,
right? Here's
there
one of
we
the medals.
go. There we
There's,
go. Some of that
so
hardware.
Canadian Physique Alliance, okay, they
Okay,
put on shows, and this one here is hosted by Sudbury. It's called the Sudbury Classic Championship.
okay,
Now, I'm born in Sudbury. So when I found out that Sudbury has a bodybuilding competition, I was like, well, it would only be fitting for me to go back to my hometown and compete there.
hmm,
And at the same time, I would have an opportunity to ask my father if he wanted to come and see me. Right? Hey, he hasn't come to cheer me on in a sport since I was in my teens, kind of deal, right? And to my surprise, he was all excited. He's like, "Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to come down and watch the show. I've never been to a bodybuilding show." So, in bodybuilding, there's in this competition, men have fitness, they have classic bodybuilding, and they have bodybuilding.
okay,
Those are the three categories. Okay. Within those three categories, there's age categories and there's weight categories, right? So I want to be in the classic bodybuilding. It's
okay,
not your it's not your biggest category per se, like muscle wise. It's more of the classic physique, like the Arnold Schwarzenegger.
okay,
So I wanted to do classic physique, and I wanted to do it in my age range, which was 40 plus. At the same time, I was like, well, I'd like to see how I fare against everybody.
right.
Also going in the open category for classic bodybuilding.
Hmm.
And I did both, and I came out second in the over 40, and I came out third in the open, in the overall. So for me, it was like, okay, I know where I stand now amongst my peers, right? Amongst my competitors of my age and competitors
Okay,
of all ages.
sweet.
Yeah. So, like I said, it was I'm challenging myself to see where I stand amongst everybody else, and now I know that hey, I'm coming back next year. I'm coming in for first, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know what you
And
want to improve on?
more motivation to eat more, train harder, and
Perfect.
keep it up. Yeah.
That's
So
so good, man. Seriously, congrats. Like I've never done a bodybuilding show before, but I have so much respect for the work and the amount of time you got to put into, you know, because you're going to be on display. You're trying to put your best product out there on display to have the judges critique, and you're putting your outcome in someone else's hands, but you're going to show up at your absolute best. So it takes a lot to be there, and I respect that. So second and third is amazing, but the journey itself, who you became in the process, is even more amazing.
thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Absolutely, brother.
And
Absolutely.
you said it right there. It's I want to be able to show what I'm capable of. not because I'm vain, but my trainings and tempered warriors and my way of training other people and coaching other people, I want to show them that it works, right?
Right.
So I didn't do anything differently than what I tell them what to do. I followed my own steps,
Mhm.
and I just became stricter on my nutrition, and I
Right.
added more cardio. And as a result, I depleted most of my fat and reached a physique that is, well, difficult to attain and maintain,
Right.
right? I'd like to say it's not really maintainable. It's too lean at that point,
Right.
right?
Right.
But that's what you want. Yes, I can help you get there,
Hmm.
right? If you
Right.
just want to lose weight, no problem. My plan already does that. You want to get stronger? No problem. My plan already does that.
Yeah.
If you just want to get back on track? No problem. We do that too, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We have a place for everybody. It's doesn't matter if you're a complete beginner or if you're an advanced person who's just trying to get back into it, right?
Right.
It's all levels are welcome because we know not everybody's journey starts at the same place.
Hmm. That's awesome, man. Very cool. And that brings us kind of more to where you're at now in your journey. You're gonna rerun this, gonna get first place this time around, and you've got a clientele base that you're building now. You're currently located in Windsor?
Right.
Yeah, Windsor, Ontario. Yeah, for anyone listening, we've got listeners across the over to the UK and in the United States. So if you're looking on the map to find where Rock's at, physically located anyway.
Just
But
south of
again,
Detroit.
yeah, being online allows us to be everywhere, which is super cool. Training people all over the place. So there'll be guys out there who want to talk about mental health, guys out there who need to get back on track and regroup and reinvent themselves over. This is the guy to call here. Rock's going to be your guy for that. And where are they going to find you? Obviously, it's Tempered Warriors is the name of the company now.
So most of my advertisement is done on Instagram at Tempered Warriors, and same with Facebook. Facebook, they can reach me on my personal, right, which is Roch Bouverat. So
Okay.
ROCHBOUVERAT. Um, I advertise on both spots, Facebook and Instagram. I also utilize an application called Trainerize,
Hmm.
right? And with the use of that, I can access my clients with the use of an app. We can communicate 24/7, and they get their workout plan, their meal plan, everything, all the touch of a button, right? It's all
Yep.
there. User friendly. It's very easy. They don't have to write anything down or print anything. It follows them wherever they go because everybody has their phone stapled to them pretty much.
Yep. Yep. Right. Makes it simple and user friendly is the key. Most people want quick, easy access. The results might not be quick and easy to get, but the access to doing the programs will be easy. And online, it makes it so simple because they can do it at home or they can do it at the gym, and you can customize and meet them where they're at, right? Which is the key.
Absolutely. Right.
Yeah.
And they don't just get a list of exercises and tell them, like, this is the name of the exercise. No, it's a video. Like they click on it, it shows them, it tells them. Everything is there so that there's no guesswork. Right.
Hmm.
And we can
Yeah.
work with them whether they have access to a gym or they work from home.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Amazing what you can do with your own body weight.
Yeah. That's so awesome, man. Very cool. And so, in your story, I think we've covered from the beginning to the end. I know you said it was about how old were you? You left Sudbury because you were here originally.
So, no, I've always lived up north.
Oh,
I
okay.
moved down to Toronto when I was 27 to join the police force there.
Oh, in Toronto, yeah.
And that was at 2007.
Okay.
Made the transition from Toronto to Windsor in 2016.
Okay.
Right, 2016. I've been here since, and smaller city, better quality of life, not so much traveling, better place to raise a family and whatnot. So,
Okay.
oh, and the weather's fantastic down here.
Right on.
Our
Yeah.
summers are longer.
Yeah. Yeah. The lifestyle from Toronto to Windsor would be a big change.
100%.
Yeah.
I felt like in Toronto, it was great. I had a blast for the 9.5 years I was there. Everything is super fast paced, right? But as you age, you don't want to be go 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 all the time and
Right.
always stuck in traffic. So yeah, it was a good 9.5 years. It was time to get out. This is more my pace. I'd have to say the biggest struggle in my journey was always, I guess, why I focus so much on time management. Right? I mean, I work 12-hour shifts now, so on those days that I work, It's like, how do you fit in a workout? You're working 12 hours. Let's say you're traveling to and from work. It's another hour. There's 13, right? You're coming home. You got a family, or you've got to cook supper. You've got to cut the grass. Like, how do you manage? And it's like, honestly, for me, it's like, okay, well, instead of eating my lunch on my lunch break, that's my time. So I'm going to have a workout,
Mm-hmm.
right? If that falls on a workout day, I'm going to use my lunchtime to work out.
Right.
And I will do a 45-minute workout. I will eat my lunch afterwards with the leftover minutes I've got left, right? And
Yeah.
just power through it. And do I have to do that every time I work? No.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes when I work, it's a day off, and I try to plan it that way so that I can have a rest, right?
Right.
But I know I'm going to be on my feet for 12 hours anyway. I'm still burning something. I'm just not doing a specific workout or tearing down muscle tissue.
Right.
So it's really about making it work for you. I get more days off because of the 12-hour shifts, right? So I can try to schedule more workouts on those days.
Right.
So my days off aren't just to sit at home and relax. It's I've got planned events. Like, that's my day off. That's my day to do my groceries, or that's my day off. I'm going to go golfing that day. Everything has an intention,
Right.
and it wasn't until I stopped living day by day, like, oh, what am I doing today?
Yeah.
It's too late,
Yeah.
right? If I didn't plan for that day is could be lost, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
rare that everything else falls into place without planning.
Right.
So yeah, that's been the biggest discipline marker for me, that things started going more progressively easier, because just look at my calendar, I know what I'm doing. And it's again moving forward in the direction I want to go. Some people figure out, like, oh, I just diagnosed myself, I got ADHD. You know,
Mm-hmm.
here I am at 40, man, I wish I would have known, kind of deal, right?
Right.
And for me, it was finding out that I had auditory processing disorder, which it's a long term for saying I have a hard time understanding people verbally.
Okay.
I speak a certain way, and I know I speak weird, and it's because this is the way I understand myself. This is what helps me retain stuff with information. So I've always known I've spoken weird. The way I make my sentences, it's not like everybody else. And I've been told this for years, like, oh, you're so formal, or you're this or you're that. And it's like, well, that's how I understand. Right.
Right.
So if you tell me, okay, Rock, I want you to walk downstairs, open the second door on the left. Once you're inside, I want you to utilize the third cabinet on the right and take there the left spoon. Okay. Well, I understood all of your commands.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But it is all mixed up. Was it the second door? Or was it the second cabinet? Was it this? Because it wasn't shown to me. But if all you had done was show me the direction of where I need to go, if I saw it, I could replicate it immediately, right? So I can retain things as soon as I see them, but to be explained it, I have to re-explain it to you, and you tell me if it's right,
Okay.
right? So
Mm.
finding that out at the age of 46, after speaking with your psychologist and discovering this, right? It's like, oh my God, yeah, that makes sense. Here I am in class, whether it be elementary, high school, college, university, it didn't matter where I was every time it was a verbal lesson. I'd be looking around the room like, am I the only one that's not understanding this? Okay, I am. Everybody else is paying attention. Fine,
Right.
keep listening,
Yeah.
right? Making notes of the words I hear, thinking, okay, maybe by seeing the words, I'll be able to process what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And remember going through that entire lesson, thinking to myself, I have learned nothing, right? And going to the teacher, like, what part of the book is this? That's not part of the book. Clearly.
Wow.
Okay, right. I've lost this 2 hour session. Is there anything I can do to? It's like, well, weren't you listening? I was like, yep.
Yeah.
Yep, I heard every darn word.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd be no better off, right? And so now knowing this, like, you're like, well, how can you be a police officer if you've got this? I was like, well, guess what? You learn to process things differently. So I will do a lot of, okay, so what I heard from you is, and I will summarize what you've told me, and you're going to tell me at the end whether or not I'm right.
Mm.
And if you tell me, yes, that's correct. Ah, perfect. I understood.
Okay.
Right? And it's not every conversation, but some.
Right.
That's how I've learned to adapt with it. If I have an uncertainty because words you've used or the chronologic of things,
Right.
you ask forwarding questions and you haven't confirmed that way. And so I work around it.
Yeah.
Right. So I've learned, so now I'm not like, oh, well, I can't learn this. I've got auditory processing disorder. I've got OPD. Sorry.
Hmm.
It doesn't control me. Okay. I'm glad I understand what I have, but it's not going to limit me. I'm going to find another way to get around it.
Right.
Right. And I guess that's one thing I'm happy for. I wasn't labeled with this at a young age. I didn't use it as a cane or as a crutch. It's just helped me understand me better. And once I understood myself better and my limitations, it was like a big aha moment. I can now I understand why I can't do this or why this gave me difficulty and why I do the things I do.
Right.
So
Better
better
understanding.
understanding of oneself.
Mhm.
It's uh it's humbling. Like,
Yeah.
I do have a learning disability. Damn, okay.
Yeah.
Right. But it's not going to hold me back. It's,
Hmm.
it's just now I know that, hey, you talking to me this lesson is not going to do anything. Give me a printout. I'll walk away and I will learn that printout. No problem.
Right.
Better off with that.
Visual learner for sure. Right. That's
Mhm.
awesome. I like the idea too that what you just talked about is, a lot of people look at as a disadvantage, as they're a victim of something. I was born with this disorder or whatever it is. But you can turn that, and like it sounds like you've turned it into almost like a superpower, allowing you to get better and hone in on something and a way of learning that's going to make you even more, you're going to get more out of it. I think you've turned it into like a positive thing rather than something that you hold yourself a victim of, which is super cool.
And having these conversations, like engaging in where everything is auditory, it helps me, right? And
Hmm.
I'll still get stumped, right? And then I'll utilize my method to come around to get around it. But it obviously is training my ear to better understand. Like, oh, I understand. I've heard other people talk this way or explain this, and I can
Right.
make do and understand and work around it, right?
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
does improve with time. It's like a muscle. The more I use it, the better I become at it.
Love it. Yeah.
Same way. Yeah.
Love that. That's exactly it. So much of the carryover here too, this conversation we're even having, your story being told, is so paralleled, like we said earlier, to fitness and nutrition and mental health. Like they all are part of it. They're pillars of this entire journey. And you're putting them all together in a great way, just telling your story. But for anyone listening, I think they're able to put it together, even though it's all auditory. Unless they're watching our podcast and they can see you visually on the screen, showing some of your bodybuilding hardware, and obviously they can see how great a physique you have. You're living proof, like you said, of what you're teaching people. So I think that's super, super cool. Like that's what we're here for, is to be a role model and an example of what the outcome should look like. No matter what the age, it's not like the age is going to be your detriment. Move it or lose it. You're using it, and you're making it happen. So that's super cool too. Um, any thoughts
Letting
you want to
people
add to
know the
that?
humanity of it.
What's that?
It's letting people know the humanity of it. Like,
Right.
yeah, we're not perfect. I am not perfect, and that's why I can achieve this. No, I've got my defects and I'm working through it.
Mm.
Right. And I find everybody has their own, for lack of better words, defects. Right. Yeah, I'm not going to be the best at this, but I'm not going to let that hold me back. I'll
Mhm.
excel this avenue or that avenue.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm trying to do. It's like, okay, well, that doesn't work for me. So I'm going to do this instead.
Yeah.
Right. And
That's
it's fun.
awesome.
It's fun.
Yeah. So now we're at the end of your story, from what it sounds like, as far as up to recent and current. You're returning back to work. We go back to the start of the story. I remember you telling me about this altercation that led you to feel like you were so small, so you were in good shape. You had to outrun the guy. You're back to work now. Anything like that, even cross your mind anymore? Do you go into it with a full sense of confidence now with your newfound physique, your muscle, your weight, your confidence in how much you've achieved? What does that look like going back to work? Should altercations like that arise, or have they?
Well, there will always be a bigger guy than me and stronger guy than me. So will I still feel the same way versus a guy like that? I will probably have the flashback of like, oh my God, and this guy is 400 pounds and I'm standing here at 200. I might still look at him and say, Yeah, no, I'm right back to where I was. I'm still going to try to keep distance from this guy,
Uh-huh.
right? But I mean, you can't avoid that. My voice has always been my best tool,
Mhm.
and I hope that I don't run into somebody who's drunk and high at the same time, and his goal is to only fight. Um, I'm lucky. In the 18, 19 years that I've been on now, I've probably gotten to 7 physical confrontations that I couldn't talk myself out of,
Mhm.
right? For the most part, people just want to be understood. And it's when you don't understand them that you get the violence, right? And or that they're trying to escape something that they fear is going to be worse than
Mhm.
being caught. So for me, I've always been able to talk them down and reassure them that, listen, I understand you're scared, right? Believe me, I'm just as scared
Mhm.
because you're erratic right now. I'm here to tell you, you're just going to be put in cuffs. You're just going to be brought in, and life goes on, right?
Mhm.
You're not going to get hurt.
Right.
I'll guide you through this. You can calm people down, the violence stops, right? And for the moments that you can't stop it, you hope that you're fit enough, strong enough, and mentally prepared to tackle it.
Mhm.
Um, am I physically strong enough? Yes, I am. Am I mentally prepared to tackle this? Yes, I am. And that's why I've returned to work, right?
Mhm.
I'm able to control both. I'm mentally prepared, I'm physically prepared, and so I'm off to do the job again. And
Nice.
before, I didn't have that,
Right.
right? So
Yeah.
I was putting myself at risk. I was getting hurt, and I was making bad decisions.
Mhm.
We've got enough of those in the world. So
Yeah. That's awesome. That's a really great answer too, because you talked about having the ability and the confidence now that maybe you didn't have in that first story you told us, but you still choose the same method of solving the problem, and that's to talk it out and use your skill. Your tool is your power to communicate. You're actually a great speaker. And again, I'm learning all this for the first time. I've never had a chance to sit and talk with you. So that's what's real about our podcast is a lot of times I don't know the story and I want to hear it just like every listener out there is hearing it for the first time. But you're a great communicator, and that's important in coaching. I know that, for being a coach myself. But it's also important for, like you said, de-escalating a situation because a lot of people aren't great communicators with themselves, and that's where you've got to talk yourself down. You're erratic.
yeah,
You got to negotiate your own hostage situation where you're holding yourself hostage. I think this is such a great conversation for sure. That's impressive, man. And but I like that you'd still use the same mode, even though you've got a much stronger physical stance about you now. And most people would think, and again, maybe it's just a stereotype that police like to push their authority and use it. And some of them are young and they're, full of, they say, full of testosterone. They just want to fight. They're almost looking to egg it on. And again, maybe that's true to some degree, certain people, but those are individual circumstances, individual people. Have you come across that type of thing, or obviously you're at a much more mature situation when you were a young officer? Was it any different, or have you always been like that?
I was that 18-year-old kid that if I got pulled over by the police, my butthole is doing this, and I'm
Okay.
flushed and I'm sweating. I'm like, oh my God, like I've done something wrong.
Right.
And they pull you over and they're like, how fast you're going? It's like, no, yes, no, maybe. Shoot, I don't know what to say, right? And you're nervous.
Hmm.
And I remember those days like they were yesterday,
Hmm.
right? And like getting a speeding ticket, getting a red light ticket, doing something wrong. My God, even forgetting to do my homework. And then the teacher coming around saying, okay, I'm collecting your homework, huh? Right? That was my biggest worry back then. So I
Yeah.
got the same feeling then that I would get later on in life being questioned by a police officer. And then same idea, like in trouble at work or whatever, like
Hmm.
authority, any authority coming down on me for something. I was like, oh my God, I hated that feeling.
Yeah.
So I remember that. And now I am that authority. So I show up at your door because I pulled you over.
Hmm.
First thing I want to do is like, it's okay. We're safe. We're stopped. Here's why.
Hmm.
Okay. I need to see your license, your ownership, your insurance. This process will not take long. And I put them at ease. Do I have
Right.
to? No. But doing that, I'm making their experience a lot more relaxed.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's like, okay, at least I don't have an officer who's gruff or he doesn't sound like he's going to throw the book at me. It's like, I'm not there to throw the book at anyone. And like, if I pulled you over, something you did was wrong.
Yeah.
And we're going to correct that behavior. I'm going to check your documents. I'm going to make sure you're a licensed driver. This is your vehicle. You're not running away from the law or anything like that. And then we're going to clear it up and you're going to leave. And maybe you'll have a ticket. Maybe you won't. It depends on their driving tactics. If they've been told 5, 6 times that, hey, stop speeding,
Right.
eventually you're going to get a ticket, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Some give tickets right away. I'm not that way. I'm here to correct the behavior. I'm not here to punish your checkbook.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? And I feel if there was more officers with that mentality where it's like, listen, we're here to correct the behavior so that other people are safe on the roadway. People aren't going to be offended by that. Like, yeah, that makes sense. Like, I'm here to give you a ticket because you're a speeder.
Right.
Well, maybe I was passing a car. Maybe I was doing this. Like, whatever the case. Everybody's got an excuse or reason.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not here to entertain the reason. Like, hey, this is why. This is what we're going to do, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Making them realize that I'm not power tripping. I'm
Right.
not doing it because it's fun, right?
Yeah.
We're both in this position. Let's move through it.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. And it puts it in perspective because, it's the framing of what people, I could feel it when you were actually talking about that, being that person who was afraid. You get nervous, you get panicked when authorities kind of questioning you. I sit in that same seat. I feel that same way. And again, I think it's a level of respect you have for that authority, which is awesome because I think a lot of times today, especially, there's not a lot of respect for authority. It's changed a lot. We're seeing that everywhere. So, have you had any really bad situations? I mean, how long have you been back to work now? In the last couple of, is it weeks, months?
It's weeks.
Weeks. Okay, we're just getting back. So
Yeah.
no real in no real awful situations that you've been tested by to see how your recovery has come along in the last couple of weeks.
I've had a very modest return to work. So it's, no,
Easing back into it.
it is. And to be honest, there's not much that excites me anymore. I mean, it has to be a pretty bad night for my heart rate to elevate, and it would have to be something new, right?
Mhm.
And
Right.
after almost 20 years, you get quite accustomed to the type of calls and the actions, and it's not much excites you anymore. So
Right.
it's low key.
So yeah, based on experience, obviously, you've got a lot of experience that you've been through all these situations. There's a peace of mind there. Like you said, it has to be something you've never experienced to really get you, uncomfortable again that way.
Right.
Yeah, which is awesome. And you were talking about too, it's not because of the medication that you were on. You remember you talking about kind of being like a zombie mode where you didn't feel anything. That's not the case anymore now. It's familiarity that's putting you at ease.
Right. And like I said, the Zoloft was to help me through a period of time where I couldn't manage my own emotions and my own feelings, right?
Hmm.
And having weaned off of it to the point I don't need them anymore, like now you can experience your happiness again, your sadness again. Like you can get depressed again, but I mean, it's now you understand what it is. It's easier to manage, and you get better coping mechanisms than just going with the flow.
Right. That's so cool, man. Awesome. As I was saying earlier, I wanted to give you one more task to do for us before we go. I know your battery's probably dying too. You've been here here with us for a good couple hours. I really appreciate your time and your
2%.
telling your story. 2%? Okay. So here's what we do. The podcast is called The Other Side. And what that does is it puts a before and after photo together verbally for people. So what I want you to do is look at Roch, the before, but on the other side of the journey, before all the healing and before where you stand today, and just quickly describe him if you went through descriptive words that come to mind about who he was, where he was at. If you just give us 5 or 6 or 10, whatever descriptive words, what would it be?
I believe the nickname I was given was Bone Rack.
Bone rack.
Yes. So not a lot of muscle. I mean, you would look at me and I would have abs. I would also have ribs. Right? Really not much of a chest. Everything was very slim. I was very skinny. If you looked at me, I was all head.
And so those are physical attributes. Were there any mental attributes or emotional attributes that also describe that earlier other side of Roch?
The earlier side of me was always playful, happy, and go lucky.
Okay. And so comparing that bone rack, no muscle, ribs, no chest version, he was still, still playful and happy. What does it look like now on the other side in the way of health, fitness, mindset, physical stature? How would you explain yourself now? Descriptive words.
Well, now I strive to still be that person, right? I had lost that person over the years. I guess, like I said, I think being exposed to those type of scenarios over and over again, you lose that mirth, right? It's like, oh man, you used to be so jovial, and now you're like always serious all the time, right? And the first time I heard that, it was like, oh gosh, maybe I have changed, right? And I think that hurt me the most because I prided myself like people were happy to see me. People would call me just to hang out, and wow, that wasn't happening anymore, right? And so when you start to realize like, hey, I really am hurt, I really am injured, and I didn't see it because I never allowed myself to look at it from the outside in. I
Mm-hmm.
needed somebody else to point that out, right? And most of the time, nobody wants to go to a person and tell them, hey, you need help. You're not the same. Nobody wants to hear that about themselves. And they get defensive,
Mm-hmm.
right? And before you know it, like, "Hey, I don't like you. You're talking bad about me." When all they were trying to do, that was probably the soundest advice they could have got. And that person did them a favor by being brutally honest with them, saying, you're different. Pay attention, right? Listen to your friends that you think are no longer friends because they might be telling you something that you need to hear, even though you're not ready for it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that would be my advice to others. Lean on your friends, pay attention to them. They're your friends by choice.
I hope that you enjoyed today's episode as much as I did. Hearing Roch's story and his transformation, it is absolutely inspiring to have people like that in the world. And stories are so powerful to hear it from the person who told the story themselves. So if you or anyone you know has been through an amazing transformation and has now gone from where they were to living on the other side, successful, we want to hear from you. So please reach out, DM us, email us, message us here on this video. Let us know that you and your story need to be told or someone you know, and we will get that story out there to the world because that is what we're here for, is to explain how people like Roch, people who have transformed and overcome all the odds, all the obstacles, and all the excuses, how they got to the other side. Because we know you can get to the other side of whatever you're dealing with as well. And that's why we started this podcast. We want to hear from more of you. More stories to come in future episodes. So until next time, follow and subscribe to our channels and all of our social medias, and stay tuned for more great stories from the other side.